Fran, the rebounding stats leap off the page for people who didn't see the game. Did you think that you'd have a decent rebounding team, and what do you got to do to become one?
Well, a lot of those, they shot, a fair amount of threes. A lot of those were bouncing long. You got to do a better job of finding a body and getting those long rebounds. Some of them were in tight. Some of them were kept alive by Kofi and some of their bigs. They've got a lot of size. But this rebounding line is completely unacceptable. I mean, I've been coaching 40 years, never seen anything like it. It's just absolutely unacceptable. And we just have to be better.
What do you feel like you guys were doing wrong in terms of rebound? I mean, positioning or bad luck? Or?
The little bit of everything, I think, Chad. Maybe the ball didn't bounce a couple times our way, but at some point you got to put a body on somebody and go get the ball.
Fran, Tony gave you a good spark in that first half. Actually, the whole bench did.
Yeah, that group was really good because our starting group didn't have it. That was clear and obvious. Our second group came in, went on a big run. Tony, Aaron, Connor, Chris, thought they were really good. Defensively, they were connected. The press was active. Press was good the whole game, I mean, for the most part. We turned them over 18 times, and it's the only way you stay in a game when you're giving up that many rebounds.
Keegan got going late. I mean, is that just...
Yeah, he wasn't himself early. I mean, maybe that's understandable. He was coming off an injury, coming off a game where he didn't play. And then he missed a couple free throws, which he normally doesn't do. So we just, encouraged him to continue to be aggressive. And he really got it going there in the second half. I mean, at one point you never thought he'd get 19 points, but that just tells you how good he is.
Coach, why do you think the offense for the starters was kind of stagnant tonight?
I don't think we moved the ball. I don't think we pushed the ball, the stuff that we typically like to do. And then we got to standing around and played a little bit one-on-one. That's not going to win basketball games. It's just not. And we have enough experience to know better than that.
What can you take, I guess, from this 0-2 Big Ten start and the fact that you dug big holes at some points, but then you came back as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some good things, Chad. But I mean, you're not satisfied with 2 losses. We had some individuals I think played really well. I think there were times when we played really well together. The press was good. Our activity was really good. In both games at times. But the bottom line is, we have to be better with our execution, and obviously, limiting them to fewer shot opportunities.
Who are your best rebound? I mean, in your mind, who are your best rebounders? Fundamentally.
Well, normally you would think, Phillip, Chris, Keegan, are your best guys. Maybe I should play Josh a little bit more. He was pretty active when he was in there. Get you a bigger guy, but you need your, when they're shooting a ton of threes, it's going to a lot of times fall down on your wings. Patrick, Peyton, Tony, those guys when they're bouncing out to the free throw line or beyond, and really, all your guards for that matter.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
Tony, it's another game where you kind of, as soon as you come in, you kind of get into your groove. Can you kind of talk about what you were feeling tonight and just the kind of groove you're in right now?
After the Purdue game, I was playing at home, so, I had to get busier, if you want to call it that. And after that, it just boosted my confidence all the way to come in and score, defend, and play the game that I'm capable of playing. And tonight, that was my main focus, doing the same thing I did against Purdue and trying to get us to win. But even though it didn't happen, I just wanted to play my hardest on defensive end and offensive end.
Tony, what do you think happened with the rebounding tonight?
It was a lot of long rebounds. We got in there, but it was more like tip outs, and we all 5 tried to rebound it, like go under, box out the big, help Kofi because he's real big, and we tried to help our bigs with that, and then it just kept going long and tipping it. But I think if we would have gave them less offensive rebounds, then we would have been in the game and possibly won the game.
2 tough games here to start the Big Ten. maybe two of the best teams in the Big Ten, 2 close losses. What's kind of the frustration level about being close and not being able to kind of get over that hump?
We just got to follow through the whole game. We might come in, spark the game all throughout the game, but we just need to finish it at the end. During the middle, we just got to bring the same intensity that we do the whole time. Whoever's in, we just got to bring it in and compete. That's all that we got to do is compete the whole 40 minutes.
Is it encouraging? And I know losses aren't encouraging, but the fact that you fall behind, come all the way back, did you take any positives out of these last 2 games?
Yeah, it shows that we got heart. All of us got heart to fight and know that the game's never over because anything can happen. But at the same time, once you lose, you kind of think like trying to fight from behind, it gets old. But, I mean, if that's what you got to do to win sometimes, then that's what you got to do. But for now on, we just got to continue to stay and keep the leads and stop going back and forth and just keep the lead.
You and Aaron seem to have some great chemistry. Can you kind of talk about that relationship and what it's like playing alongside him?
Playing with him is great. I've seen him play at AAU, like at tournaments, because even though we didn't play in the same circuit, it was just like some tournaments he was at the same tournaments I was at. But when coming in here, we was talking. Last year we was close. We was in a dorm, COVID, so we was stuck together. So I know him as well as he know me. And just before every game, we just talk about what we need to do, what we need from each other. And I look for him, he look for me. But we always look for everybody, but we know what spots we're going to be in. We work out together, so we just close. We just built a brotherhood, even though we didn't know each other like that. But we still built a brotherhood throughout the 2 years. 2 years that we've known each other.
What's it like to wait for your turn on the bench? You start the game and second half on the bench, and it seems like once you get in there, you guys really make stuff happen.
I'm not really focused on coming on the bench or starting. When I get in, just know I'm gonna produce. Just keep producing and trying to do whatever we gotta do to win. Cause I like winning. That's all I'm about. So as long as we winning, and when we start winning again after these 2 losses, we're just gonna push that aside. The Thursday, we're gonna get the win. So come in, do the same thing I did tonight, and just hopefully we win that game too.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Mr. Keegan?
Keegan, when you see the disparity on the rebounding numbers, what kind of comes to mind first for you?
Yeah, no, they're shooting a lot of threes, so there's a lot of long rebounds. Obviously, they have a size advantage against us, but at the end of the day, it's just who wants it more. All their guys are crashing the boards, and we didn't have enough guys down there. They're obviously out-rebounding us by a lot. So.
Is that frustrating knowing that you turned them over 8 times, you lose by 4, you grab 5 or 6 more boards here and there, and it might be a different game?
Yeah, if you think about it, if we get a couple more offensive rebounds, if we get a couple more defensive rebounds, we're not going to have second chance opportunities. And that could have flipped the score early on in the second half and also at the end of the game. They got a couple crucial rebounds that end up them winning the game. So, yeah, it'd help to get a couple more rebounds for sure.
What got you going there late?
Yeah, just getting my feet under me. Obviously, with an ankle injury, it's tough just coming back from it to get your feet under you. The first half, I was just trying to get my feel for the game back. The second half, I kind of got that back, kind of got my mojo going, and I got in a little bit of a flow. So.
How did your ankle feel, and what's that process been like to get back on the court?
Yeah, no, obviously I did it against Virginia. I was able to play the rest of the game, but the next day it just kind of got a little worse. And then obviously I missed the game on Friday, but just doing the treatment that you need to do in the first half, was just kind of getting it going a little bit, getting the rhythm back into it, and just getting it loose. But I felt good in the second half and also in the first half a little bit, so I'm moving in the right direction for sure.
With you out, you got out rebounded by 12, I think, Friday at Purdue, and then tonight. How can the team and individuals be better rebounders?
Yeah, no, it's just not letting your guy get the rebound. At the end of the day, rebound's really just hustle and effort. We didn't have enough guys that were getting a body on the other guy, and they wanted the ball more than us at the end of the day. But that's just something that we need to. Our mindset needs to change in that area. I feel like our guys are up to the challenge for that. So.
What type of lift does your bench provide when the starters may be struggling?
Yeah, no, Tony and Aaron and all those guys and Chris and Payton have really given us a lift off the bench. Obviously, you saw that in the Purdue game as well in this game. They just bring a level of intensity when they come out, and they just get after it. It's a lot of fun to play with. They're scrappy, and they don't let the guy in front of them score. But it's kind of like last year. We had kind of the same thing a couple times, but they've been really good for us so far this year, and I expect them to continue doing it.
I don't think we'll get to talk to you before Thursday, so what, in-state kid going against Iowa State, what's that going to be like for you?
It's fun. I mean, obviously, growing up, I watched a lot of the Iowa State games, and I'm just excited to get down there. Obviously, the environment is going to be really fun to play in. I'm ready for the challenge. It's my first time going down there. I've wanted to go down there since I grew up, and I'm just ready for it.
You guys as a team, I mean, pretty motivated to get back on the court again pretty quickly after this game?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of our guys are just really want to get down, get back into the win column. We're a team that really just, if we lose, we just want to get back on the right track. Our guys have the right mentality. So far, I think we'll be ready for Thursday for sure.
You guys knew coming in these two were two of the best Big Ten teams, Purdue, Illinois, out of the gate. So how do you guys feel like you measure up, I guess?
Yeah, obviously both the teams got out on runs against us. They kind of hurt us in the second half. But I feel like if we just clean up some stuff, just little stuff in the rebound column, and also just not let them get on runs, I feel like we're able to compete with anyone in the Big Ten, anyone in the country. But at the end of the day, it's still a learning process for us. We have a lot of new roles to fill, and some guys first look in the Big Ten. So just getting them used to that, I think we're fine.
Okay, thanks, Keegan.